Hello and welcome to the James and Joe Garden Show. Oh,
that's bad.
Actually, the least sensible gardening podcast on the planet.
I'm Joe Swift.
And I am James Alexander-Sinclair. Every week, we rip up the horticultural handbook and plant something far more entertaining, from big garden topics to biscuits to serve your gardeners. This week, it's your turn. We're answering your weird, wonderful, and occasionally totally unhinged gardening questions, with a chance to win the most coveted prize in horticulture.
Yeah, you think it's a Chelsea gold medal, but it isn't. It's Jekyll, the garden gnome.
We've got just two rules, and what are they, Joseph?
They are no dead plants and no dull questions.
For your chance to ask us questions live and get perfectly unreasonable answers from two leading experts, join the Garden Collective.
Yep, you can join our live streams, dive into expert-led garden wisdom, articles, podcasts, Q&As, and more.
And your first month is just a measly £1. Right, on with the podcast. Okay, so questions. If any of you out there listening to us now live would like to put a question in, stick a question in the thing. The thing about questions and the James and Joe Garden Show is that the questions that we do not do are, Joseph.
Well, they're not dull and they're not about dead plants. So It's quite simple, brief, isn't it? And you could win yourself a green gnome, or you could even win yourself a golden gnome, but they are rare. They're as rare as hen's teeth. We haven't given one of those away for a long time.
For a long time. I'd love to give one away. In order to qualify for a golden gnome, what we need somebody to come up with a question that is so sensational, so extraordinary that we can do an entire episode about that subject. So come up with that and we will send you a golden gnome. We are privileged to have a golden gnome amongst us, and that Barbara from Vancouver is here with a golden gnome. Okay, I've got a question for you, Joseph, which is okay. It is. I'm sorry, Melanie. It's got a slight football theme to it, but we're going to do it anyway. This is from Deborah from New York.
Who the new mayor of New York? I'm forgetting his name. Massive Arsenal fan, ridiculously huge Arsenal fan, and a very good footballer. He was doing keepy uppies on the day he was elected.
Okay. So Deborah says, I too am an avid gardener and fierce Arsenal fan from Long Island, New York. How would Joe design a garden area to demonstrate his Arsenal passion? How are you going to demonstrate the passion that you have for Arsenal Football Club? You have to do this in a way that doesn't bother people who don't give a damn about.
Well, obviously, the obvious thing is to do a football pitch, and then maybe have some topiary footballers on. But it's just ridiculous. Who wants to live with a garden like that? Then you could go down the colour theme. You could go down the sort of red and white. But then you're, as Alan says, blood and bandages. Alan Titchmarsh, blood and bandages. So you can't have red and white. An entire garden full of red and white. If you go into our away kit,
Joseph, on that subject, going back, you're not supposed to put red and white flowers in your house in a vase together, are you? Anyway, carry on. Yeah.
Why not?
Because I think it's unlucky.
Because they look ridiculous.
And they look ridiculous. Okay, so how are you going to do it? I want you to do it subtly in the way that a gold medal winning garden designer would do it.
I'm put on the spot here.
Yeah.
I'm put on the spot. My Arsenal passion. Well, at the moment, it's about creativity. It's about solidity. It's about seeing out the whole season. It's about not getting down when you get beaten by Man United with pretty much the last kick of the game. So I'm trying to transpose that into a garden. I think you maybe have areas. You have areas of creativity. You have areas for solace. You have areas to keep fit. You have areas for your keepy uppies. So you divide. I think we're dividing the garden into rooms, but not square rooms, not like rectangular rooms with goals at each end. Just rooms that of everything that you need for a successful garden, a successful football team, which is also a successful garden at the same time.
It's the same
so there's
thing.
This underlying narrative. Oh, I'm into it now. And also, actually, with all our colour, because now we've got about 40 different coloured shirts, because now you've got to sell a new shirt to a kid for about 400 quid every single Christmas. It's all about that. It's terrible. Every 6 months a new shirt is released. So, we got blue, yellow, purple, black, green. We literally have every color. So I've got all that to use at my disposal, but not red and white together. Is that vague? Is that vague enough?
It's quite vague. I think what you're doing is you're creating a garden that is got a mixture of hope, melancholy, and triumph in it, because that, I think, is what football is all about.
Yes, as Spurs fans say, it's the hope that kills. It's the hope that kills you.
Okay,
and obviously they have a massive telly down one end of the garden as well to watch the game on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, they definitely.
And a fridge full of beer. Yeah, exactly, all that.
I've got a question here from Melanie. Melanie, the same one who's complaining about football. Okay, I read an interesting article in the RHS magazine about botanical tattoos.
Oh.
Do either of you have any tattoos? If not, would you have a botanical tattoo? And if so, what flower would you choose?
Well, you do have tattoos, and I have a tattoo, but yours is a botanical tattoo.
I have a botanical tattoo. I have a number of them. I have how many? I have one. I have about 6, I think, probably, Melanie.
Are you not going to show us, James?
Not right now. No, I think that would be a good idea. But the botanical one is interesting. When I turned 60, which again, I don't know where you probably don't believe that I ever have done that, but I did.
No.
It was decided that by my children, of which I have 3, they decided that we should do a sort of a family tattoo thing. And because anybody who's sort of seen pictures of my garden or knows my garden knows that we have this sort of rather passion for poppies. We've always had this poppies in every garden that we've had. And we all had a poppy. So my children have got buds and flowers, and I have a knackered old seed head on my arm, just about here.
Yeah. So it's a different phase of a poppy. But the poppy seed head is a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. It's slipping into an elegant and well-trusted old age is what we're after. And so that's what it is. So yes, I have that. What's your tattoo of, Joseph?
I have a swift on my shoulder. I actually think it's a swallow, but let's not go there because the tattoo artist I was in Australia. And I was landscaping. I don't know how old I was, 20 or something. And I was up, and I was just about a crew on a yacht. I was going to be a crew on a yacht, so I thought, well, I'm a bit of a pirate now. And so I had a tattoo and went into the tattoo parlor and pointed at this thing that looked like a swift, and it's on my shoulder. And I put it. It's somewhere I don't really see it because it's on my shoulder, and I sort of forget about it a little bit. But my daughter's got a few tattoos, and my son has no tattoos whatsoever. And I think there's going to be a little bit of because footballers are, used to be absolutely covered in them, as the pop stars. And I think there's going to be a bit of a movement away. And I think a lot of young people are going to say, no, this is my body, and I don't want to,
do stuff to it.
Do stuff to it.
All of my children have tattoos. My youngest child has a number of botanical tattoos on his arms. My daughter has a lot of fruit because she's a pastry chef, and she has like peaches and gooseberries and raspberries and all sorts of things. And creme fraiche and custard. She has custard written on her hand. Exactly.
Has she really?
Yeah. You see her. She's got custard written on her hand. And my oldest one has got lots of stuff that it's a sort of mixture of different things that mean different things to him, which is quite sort of fun and quite exciting and quite interesting. So yes, there's lots and lots of that.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question.
Go on then. You're going to ask one of the ones from because there are some in the chat. We ought to do them first, shouldn't we?
Oh no, I'm going to do this one first.
Okay, do this one.
No one tells me what to do.
All right.
Is this from Jesper? I'm presuming he's sort of Scandinavian. I'm going to say I'm going to say he's from Denmark. Jesper. Hi James, and I'm not putting on an accent because my accent is bad enough. Hi James and Joe, how can you say plant names without sounding ridiculous? My Italian wife. Oh, okay. So he's from Denmark and he's married to an Italian wife. Very exotic. My Italian wife laughs at my British pronunciation of Latin names and says I sound like a posho. She thinks it'd be more accurate to use the Italian pronunciation, but my dodgy Italian accent doesn't seem like a smart move either. I'm redesigning our garden and can no longer talk about my plans without being ridiculed at home? What shall I do?
I think that's a really good question, because I've always thought that you see things about the Romans, and you see dramatizations, or you see I Claudius, and everybody's sort of talking in rather sort of sensible British accents, where actually they should all be talking in Italian accents, and Roman and Latin should be pronounced as if you were an Italian. So if you were going to go through, I know, a plant list or something, and I go Acasteloiana rather than Acasteloviana, or I go Calicanthus Aphrodite instead of go Calicanthus Aphrodite.
Well, that's that. Calicanthus Aphrodite.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
What else I got? If I say, lovely plant that's flowering at the moment, Edgeworthia, rather than Edgeworthia. I think he's right. It does make you sound different, and it should all be done in a sort of Italian.
Okay.
Hydrangea,
I like
hydrangea,
it.
hydrangea, Joseph.
Hydrangea.
Hydrangea.
Hydrangea aspera. I planted a lovely hydrangea aspera.
Yeah,
yes, a couple of days ago. But I think if you went into a garden centre or B&Q or Home Base or other shops are available, and you started just talking plant names in Latin, I don't think you're going to get very far.
No,
I think that. So a lot of it's practicality. It's about This whole podcast was about communication of plants, and it's about being understood. If you go in and you say hydrangea aspera, do you have a hydrangea? And the people aren't going to know what you're talking about, and you're going to walk out very disappointed, or you're going to get very frustrated.
No, they are. They're going to. But the point is basically the fact. What Jesper is saying is that all Latin is really Italian, because that's what it's become, and therefore it should be pronounced in an
plant
Italian
names
accent.
was retrospectively given Italian names by Linnaeus.
Yes,
so the whole thing's not. You can't. It's a joke.
No, I disagree. I think that we should be doing it. I think we should be talking about lavandula. Would it not sound much better?
Only because you love your Italian. If you go to Japan or you go to Korea or you go to anywhere in the world, you want them all to put on an Italian accent when they're talking about plants. Is that what you want?
Yes, it's when they're talking Latin. Any Latin that you're doing. If you're saying, I'm trying to think of a Latin poem, but I can't think of one. Nunc dimittis or Magnificat. It should be done in an Italian, and in an Italian accent. Really, is how it should be. So Baptisia Australis. Does that not sound much better than Baptisia Australis? Yes, it does.
It should be Baptisia Australis, mate.
Well, yes, we could fit the both in. Aster, Palmate. All of these things.
No, we've had this chat before, because in Latin they didn't have a soft C, so a C would never be. It would be aca.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And
then no one's going to know what you're talking about. I want an aca, I don't know, palmatum. What? I want an aca palmatum. I want an aca palmatum. You're just going to end up in a coffee shop at the garden centre, looking all by yourself.
Okay, fine. I've got a question here from Ashley in the chat. There is a lot of discussion. This is a much more serious question. There's a discussion about bringing younger people into gardening at the moment, particularly surrounding RHS Chelsea and other things. What do you think needs to shift to really achieve that? For reference, I'm 37, have loved it since childhood, but curious for your thoughts. Okay, so how do we, and this is a question that has been occupying the RHS for many years, and all other people. And
Gardener's World and all television programs.
Okay, so what's the answer, Joseph? How do we get younger people into gardening, and do we want them in gardening?
Well, we definitely want them in gardening, and I think younger people are really interested in gardening, but not gardening as we know it. We had this conversation a little bit when we talked about social media and about the wonderful access that social media brings, and my daughter follows some younger people, and they're doing their own thing, and they're doing it in very small spaces, and they're doing it in their own way, and I think that's blown it all open a little bit. But I think that the establishment. In fact, I had a really good chat with Francis about this the other day as well on our live chat on our live stream, which is still available now, actually. And it was really lovely chatting to Francis about Gardener's World and about TV and about gardening and all that sort of stuff, and how to get, and we did talk about it, because I said, well, you were brought onto Garden as well to get younger people in, and they brought in, you know, Adam and Francis and quite a few different presenters and Arit and everything, because I was the youngest presenter on Garden as well at the age of 50. Yeah. I was still the younger, ridiculous. So they brought younger people in, and actually they're having a whole thing now where they're still looking for younger talent, and some of it might be on TV, some of it might be on the website or whatever. But I think it's important that young people see other young people gardening, and they're inspiring, and they don't want to, you know, old farts like us telling them what to do or how to do it or this, that, and the other. They might want some encouragement, and they don't see the garden as the way we see the garden from a design perspective. They see them as habitats, environments, about sustainability, about, you know, renting a place, taking everything with you in pots, and it's a different animal, but I think it's a great world. But I don't know how to encourage people into it. I think that people just evolve and get into it when they have their first little spot, their little space.
When they're ready. I mean, there are two different things to look at. I got into gardening when I first had a garden. Basically, I had a house with a patch of ground outside, and I thought that's quite exciting. I could do something with that. I think that young people nowadays are doing it, as you say, much more in community gardens. Francis does an awful lot in community gardens.
Yeah.
Community gardening in tiny places, gardening in rented gardens, gardening in your parents' gardening, in allotments, gardening, guerrilla gardening, all of these sort of things. There are many, many, many options to it. I don't think that the way that we have traditionally gardened over the years, I think that is changing. I think that's a great thing to do, and I think that young people will work out how to do that for themselves. And our job as older people is to be there when we're needed, basically. And if there's a question that we can answer, we will answer it. And if there's some help that we can give, then we will give it. And so it's to be encouraging and to be welcoming. And one of the really, really important things about this, which is to do with professional gardeners. We want younger people to become professional gardeners, because you and I have had a pretty good life being a professional gardener. But it's really, really important that people understand that they should pay their gardeners properly.
Yeah.
Basically, gardening is just not something, you're having such a nice time, we don't have to pay you. This is wrong. And the investment should be in the skills of the gardeners and getting people so that they are in a position where what they can do is appreciated, because they are basically a gardener. The reason why you employ a gardener is to do something that you cannot do yourself. And as a result, they should be paid properly and paid well for it. I mean,
and also, you know, when we talked about this parks departments, and we talked about, you know, getting the youth in through apprenticeship schemes, and that's how people learned to garden in the past. But the whole country is so, you know, strapped for cash that sadly it's those municipal spaces and parks and stuff that just end up they're bottom of the list when it comes to money, and we need to value them much more. I think. Anyway, it's a very good one, and it could almost be a whole podcast on getting people into gardening.
I think we should, but then it's.
And you know that means a golden gnome. That's a golden. No, I know. Maybe it isn't for us because it's
not for us because okay, we can give you the benefit of I know, between us 80 years experience in this business, and how we can tell our stories, and we can encourage and we can help young people to do what they can do. But it's up to them to decide what they want and how it works. And
you know what we can offer though, James?
What can we offer?
We can show people that it can be fun.
Yes, that's exactly it. And
it can be fun, and you're communicating, and you can meet really lovely people and make lifelong friends, James, through gardening and horticulture. Gardening.
Exactly. The other thing that we can prove is that you can do it if you just do it. Basically, because neither of us are terribly well qualified to do what we do, but we did it by doing it. And gardening has...
Speak for yourself. Some of us actually have got pieces of paper on the wall.
You've got one piece of paper, and that's it, Joseph.
Yeah. Well, that's all I need.
Not much, is it, really?
It's more than you. But yeah, you just got to get out there and do it. And once you do it, you're going to love it.
Would we recommend get RHS qualifications? Absolutely. Go and do it. If you've got the moment, you've got a young person who's interested in starting, go and do an RHS qualification. Try and get on to a course at Wisley or Kew, because those are the places where you are really, really going to be inspired and excited by the idea of a life in horticulture. Okay, are you going to do the next question, or am I going to do the next question? Who did that one? I did that one.
You did that one, didn't you? Okay, here's a simple one. Okay, here's Sarah from Somerset. Yeah. The big sis of Michael, the cider maker in Somerset. Shout out to Michael and to big sis, Sarah.
Okay.
She's from Hyde in Greater Manchester, but she's from Somerset, really. So we'll point out, James and Joe, who make me glow and motivates me to grow, even when it snows.
Oh, bloody
yeah, I'm not sure it's meant to rhyme, but I'm having a go at it.
I wasn't expecting poetry.
No, I don't think it is poetry. I think anyway, it can't be poetry, because the next bit goes, unfortunately, I cannot see you in the Oxfordshire show. Oh, okay. Oh, well, thanks for thinking of coming. Anyway, send your friends there. Send your brother, send your little brother along. Garden tool bags, yes or no? If yes, what essentials would you recommend?
Garden tool bag, a special bag, like a bag. I didn't know there was such thing as a garden tool bag, but okay. I have a garden tool belt, of which I think we've discussed before.
Yeah, I use a bucket. I put a lot of things just in a bucket. I put a lot of hand tools. I put the little stuff in a bucket often and carry it around with me in a bucket. And then by the end of the day, it's just I have to try and find it all to put it back in the bucket and think I should have kept it in the bucket all day. But I'm very bad. I just leave stuff around. But no, wheelbarrows and a bucket, you don't really. Some people have fancy tools, and the Japanese lot. I don't mean the Japanese lot. That sounded racist. I meant the Japanese, the Japanese suppliers and wholesalers have some beautiful bags. Where you open out a bag, and you've got your loppers there and your shears there, a big roll of stuff, and you've got your camellia oil, James, and your.
It would be too muddy. I couldn't make that work. It would be too muddy. I lost this weekend. I lost another Hori Hori, which I think is about the third Hori Hori that's in this garden somewhere, and I cannot find it. I went back to where I was, and it disappeared. It vanished. So maybe if I had a bag, it would be better. I have a belt with a holster on it, and I had forgotten to put the Hori Hori back in the holster, which is the basic flaw in this.
Sorry, is that the third? There are 3 lost Hori Horis.
Yeah.
Okay, because the last time I came to you were actually on your hands and knees looking for a plant label, which was very funny. But I think you need to go across.
I'm gonna have to.
Can't you send Cress out there to find your Cressida? Find your Hori. Cressida, the mower, the robot mower.
She'll bump into it. Now I've got Frank coming, and Frank and I are going to do some mulching in the next week or so, and then we will hopefully find it there. Hopefully it will turn up.
What about if you paint maybe luminous paint on the handles? We used to do that. Gaylord and Merriweather. Shout out to my first gardening job ever. Gaylord and Merriweather, North London. We had a big pot of yellow paint. Every time we went on site, we painted all our shovels, spades, because your landscapers, you're working with builders in the house, and everything was bright yellow, and no builder would be seen dead with a bright yellow shovel, luminous yellow handle. Well, that was quite good, and so you could spot it on site.
You can do it, but do you think you should have a bag? That's a very, very good tip, actually. That's an excellent time. That's what I should do. And I spoke to Milwaukee about that, and they said, but we don't want to give them brightly colored handles, because then you won't have to come back and buy another one, which is undoubtedly the case.
I can't possibly comment on
that. So anyway, the tool bag arrangement, yes, the tool bag would be quite nice, but I just don't think that I'd ever use it. I do use the belt occasionally. It does sort of work. I guess the most useful thing that I have in this garden is a dustbin.
Yeah, you like your dustbin, don't you?
I love a dustbin. I've got I've got 2 plastic dustbins into which I pile everything and then tip it in the bin or put it in the compost heap or whatever it is. It means that you can carry. It's there. It's rigid. It's easy to throw things into. Much better than a bag. Yeah.
Well, you don't need a bag for your dustbin, do you?
I don't need a dustbin bag. That would have been pushing it a little bit further. So yes. Okay, if you've got a tool bag, Joseph, and you can put essentials in it, I guess that's secateurs and Hori Hori and a trowel, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I find an invaluable accompaniment to an afternoon's gardening is a packet of wine gums.
Where do they go?
They
In the
go
bin?
in one of my many pockets
Oh.
that I've got in my gardening trousers, my many zip up pockets. Because we got sponsored the other day by Genus, and they sent me a pair of gardening trousers, and they were really good actually. And they've got an excellent pocket for wine gums pocket.
Hang on a minute. Are those the stab-proof pockets?
The stab-proof
in case you go in there with your Hori Hori looking for your last wine gum.
Exactly. And they're really very good. Enough pockets is what that is. Okay, we're going to do one.
Hang on. Everyone's going to get a gnome, right? So that is why a lot of people write in. They want to know whether they're going to win a gnome or not. We haven't even mentioned a green gnome. Your bed is still 8 foot off the floor because they're under the mattress.
That's true. Okay, well, I think
everyone so far who has asked the question, guaranteed.
I know.
From me, I have said, James might not back it up, but they get a no.
I get to veto though if I want to, but I don't actually want to veto any of these. I think that's
going to veto. They'd be good.
They're all good. We're going to do one more question because then I think we're going to have to stop because it's getting to the end of our allotted span. All these people need to go off and have their dinners or their teas or their suppers, depending on.
Well, that was a big debate, and I've got Justin and Craig here who have been landscaping in my garden today, and so we have to go and feed them as well.
Okay, so should we do one last question or should we save that till next time? We might save that till next time because I think that we're probably going to get to the end of our show.
You're such a tease, aren't you? You love doing that.
I know. We're going to do that. I've got. Well, yes. Okay, we can do.
Until next time.
Until next time is what.
Until next time. Oh, it's like a page turner, isn't it?
We like to keep people on a cliffhanger of the James and Joe Garden Show. We don't want people to go away wanting more. Is ideally what we're after.
Oh yeah, I do. So today, Oh, sorry, we're on the question bit now, aren't we? So I'm not allowed to talk about what we did earlier.
No, we're just talking about questions now. But what we're also going to talk about is the fact we're going to bang in the fact that we would really, really like you to come to our live gig. Actually, interestingly, there's a couple more hovering in the wings, so hopefully we might get a couple more in this summer to work it out. But in the meantime, we would love you to come to our live gig on
Glastonbury have been in touch, haven't they? We're doing the festival circuit. Tea in the Park.
We're going to do
with Glastonbury.
Our problem with Glastonbury is that
I've got a jazz fest. I got Montreux Jazz Festival in touch.
I've got the Sundance Film Festival want to broadcast our YouTube versions. This podcast will be available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and YouTube in a week or two's time. What we really like is if you were ever loafing about at a bus stop and haven't got anything else to do, why don't you go to Apple Podcasts and write us a nice review and say that you enjoy the podcast because that's the way that more people find out about us. And some people have done that. They've written some very nice things. Some people have written some very, very not so nice things, which is also quite entertaining. So we have a bit of that. So go and do that. That's one thing that we'd really like you to do. Second thing we'd like you to do is to come and see us on March the 10th in West Oxfordshire. There is a link to the ticket place in the show notes or on Instagram or anything like that. What else would we like them to do, Joseph?
You know this live show we're talking about?
Yes.
Are you going to wear your kilt?
If there is an overwhelming demand, then
really?
Yes, I will wear my kilt. But there needs to be an overwhelming demand.
Oh well, we have to create an overwhelming demand for you to wear your kilt.
And I will wear my kilt for that. The subject that we're talking about that evening is love, Joseph. We're going to be talking about the love of great romantic gestures and romantic affairs that have happened in gardens and the love that people have for plants and the environment and wildlife and gardeners' world and all sorts of things.
Okay. Okay, so I hope we're going to open it out. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a lecture from you about all these characters through history and falling in love. I'm wondering, should I? Do you want to give me anything to gem up on? Is there books I should be reading or AIing the basic narrative of Lady Chatterley's lover or something?
I think that actually you would make rather a good Mellors.
Who's he? Is he the band? Is he the sexy one?
He's the sexy one.
Oh, James, it's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
He's the gamekeeper in Lady Chatterley's Love, who I think on television may have been played by Sean Bean.
Okay, I'll take that.
Point.
Can you just call me Mellors from now on?
The main problem is the fact that I think that Mellors was quite taciturn and didn't talk much, which is rather the
Oh,
opposite of you.
right. Okay.
So you're going to have to do a little bit of work on that one.
I'm Mellors in the garden and you're the butler in the house. Is that
That's
right?
it. You see, that's basically exactly how it's going to work. Okay,
Nice.
so a message from Rebecca quickly is, can we do one up north? We'd love to come and do a live show up north. So if you know anybody who's got a venue and would like us, then tell us and we'll do that. So there we go. We've reached the end of our span. Joseph, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Jimmy. It's been lovely to see you today.
It's been lovely to see you.
And thanks for everybody who's tuned in and everybody who's written messages. It's been good.
That's fantastic. And thank you all for being members of the Garden Collective, which is thriving and doing very nicely. Tell your friends. You can give them gift subscriptions. Tell them to come and join us, come and listen to us. You can also actually, there's a new thing that we're just about to invent, which is to be a friend of the Garden Collective. And what that means is it means that you can come and join us and get a couple of pieces of free content a month just to check us out and make sure that you like us before you subscribe, because we realize that it's a commitment that we appreciate from you. So thank you very much indeed for listening to us. Do you think we should sing ourselves out as well as
No. Can we just say goodbye in any language you choose?
Okay.
You go first.
Goodbye and thank you.
Oh, well, you had an opportunity to do your Italian.
Oh, God, I could have done it.
No, I'm doing the Italian. Ciao, Bella. Ciao.
Okay. Ciao to all of you. We will see you next time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. All right. See you. Bye.
Bye.
If you want to ask us questions live, argue with us in real time, or win a gnome, join the Garden Collective on Scribehound. Your first month is just £1, and it's where the gardening really happens.
Until next time, keep your secateurs sharp, your compost questionable, and your questions coming. We'll see you back in the garden.